You love love stories. You've devoured romance novels, binged rom-coms, maybe even imagined your own scenes playing out in your head. But when it comes to actually starting your own story, that's when you start to freeze up. Hi, I'm Helen, a writing coach and award-winning produced screenwriter with an MFA in creative writing. On this channel, I teach you the craft of romance storytelling. In today's video, I'm walking you through how to start writing a romance story. Whether you're crafting a novel, screenplay, or stage play, you'll learn the foundational steps to move from daydreams to draft without the overwhelm. The thing is, emotionally satisfying love stories don't happen by accident. They're built from heart and the craft. Before you write a single line, you need to know what kind of love story you're writing. That's where picking your love lane, also known as your romance subgenre, comes in. Romance is a big, beautiful genre with so many lanes to choose from. Small town slow burns, steamy contemporary hookups, historical forbidden love, queer coming of age crushes, magical fated mates. You get the idea. Choosing your lane early gives your story focus. It helps you understand the tone, tropes, pacing, and even the kind of emotional journey your characters are likely to take. Let's say you want to write a story like To All the Boys I've Loved Before. That's YA contemporary, with a sweet tension and nostalgic first love vibes. That's totally different from, say, Bridgerton, which is a lush historical romance with scandal, family drama, and sexy secrets. Knowing that difference up front is a creative lifesaver. So ask yourself, what kind of love stories light you up as a reader or viewer? That's probably the lane you should start with. And once you've chosen your lane, it's time to soak it in like a sponge. So, once you've chosen your love lane, you got to study it from the inside out. And no, I don't mean just binge reading for fun. Although, yeah, you could do that too. I mean reading like a writer and watching like a screenwriter. Start asking, how does the story build attraction? What keeps the characters apart? When does the first kiss happen? And why does it feel so satisfying? Let's take The Notebook. Everyone remembers the rain kiss, but the real tension builds from their emotional differences. Allie wants freedom and romance. Noah is grounded and stubborn. If you're just watching just for the drama, you'll miss the story mechanics. But if you're studying it, you'll see how every scene pushes them closer and further apart. Same goes for reading your favorite romance book. Note the moments that made you swoon or scream. Track the emotional beats. You're not just enjoying, you're collecting tools. And once you start doing that, you'll never see a love story the same way again. Okay, so now your writer brain is tuned in. You're reading and watching with purpose, noticing those little moments that click. But here's the thing about inspiration, it's a little flirt. It shows up when you're in the shower, stuck in traffic, or eavesdropping at your local coffee shop, and then it vanishes. That's why you need an idea journal. That doesn't have to be fancy. It can be a physical notebook, a Google Doc, or even a voice memo in your phone. What matters is having a place to catch your sparks. A juicy bit of dialogue, a what if premise, a couple's meet cute idea you dreamt at 3 in the morning. For example, maybe you overhear someone say, "We got married for the visa but stayed for the pancakes." That right there is a rom com premise waiting to be written. Start collecting your ideas then and there. This journal will be your creative playground, your story garden. And once you start filing it, you'll need a way to shape all that inspiration into an actual love story arc. That's where my favorite comes in: structure. Now that you've got a host of ideas in your story sandbox, let's talk about how to shape them into something satisfying, something that sticks: the emotional landing, That's where structure comes in. Romance stories follow emotional beats, those turning points that take us from strangers or enemies or exes to deeply in love. Think of it like choreography for the heart. Whether you're writing a novel, a screenplay, or a play, the most effective love stories hit certain milestones: the meet cute, the growing connection, the conflict that threatens it all, the emotional low point, and finally, the reunion or resolution that makes us cheer or cry in a good way. Let's look at Pride and Prejudice. The beats are all there: the misunderstanding, the slow reveal of character, the crushing low when Lizzie thinks she's lost Darcy forever, and the joyful payoff when they finally choose each other, flaws and all. Those beats work because they mirror real emotional shifts. If you want to learn more, make sure to check out my series on romance story structure. So, now that we've mapped the journey, how do you actually start writing it? That's next. And it might be messier and more fun than you think. Okay, let's be honest. This is the part where a lot of us freeze. We've got the ideas, we know the beats, we've rewatched You've Got Mail 3 times this week in the name of research, but the blank page, it's still intimidating. So here's your permission slip. Start small, write messy. You don't need to outline the entire story before writing. You don't need to write chapter 1 first. You can literally start with the first flirty moment, or the most dramatic breakup scene, or even just a snippet of dialogue you love. Let your first draft be a sandbox, not a sculpture. Romance is about messy human emotions. Your draft should feel a little messy too. That's part of the magic. And once you start, you're going to need people. People who get it, who cheer for your messy middle and your swoony scenes. Writing romance might start as a solo adventure, but it shouldn't stay that way. One of the best things you can do for your writing life is to surround yourself with people who love storytelling just as much as you do. That means joining online writing groups, signing up for writing challenges, or just texting a friend who will read your dramatic "they break up in the rain" scene and tell you to keep going. Here's the truth: writing can be vulnerable, romance especially. You're literally putting love and longing on the page. Having a supportive community, even just one person, can give you the courage to keep going, especially when self doubt creeps in. And speaking of courage, the last and most important piece of the beginner's journey, it's not craft, it's confidence. Let's talk about that next. You can learn every structure, master every trope, write perfect banter and high stakes longing, but if you don't believe your story is worth telling, none of that matters. Confidence is the secret ingredient no one talks about enough. And I get it, romance can feel so personal. It's not just plot, it's heart. It's showing your softest, messiest, mushiest, most vulnerable ideas to the world. That takes guts. But here's what I want you to remember: your voice is worthy, your stories matter. The fact that you care about writing meaningful love stories already sets you apart. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You just need to begin. Even if it's messy, even if it's quiet, even if no one sees it but you. Every great romance writer started where you are: curious, nervous, full of feelings, and maybe a little scared. But they wrote anyway. And now, so will you. So, to recap, start by choosing your romance subgenre, study the stories you love like a writer, capture your ideas before they float away, learn the beats that shape a love story, write bravely and messily, find your people, and most importantly, trust your voice. Writing romance is about heart, not perfection. And if you're here, you've already got lots of heart. Ready to go deeper? Watch my next video on writing a romantic heroine that your audiences will go absolutely gaga over. And if you need help structuring your story, developing compelling characters, or getting unstuck, I offer a one on one coaching for romance writers. Details are in the description below. Until next time, love Helen.